today I would like to bring some information from the ministry. I have been unable to attend the last press conferences and briefings that were held, and I would still like to be able to today update the public, the general public, on some of the issues that we are being faced with and how we are dealing with them. Firstly, several times before I've been asked about the NEPA situation. I'd like to give a quick update on that. At present, I am awaiting a report which was requested from the Inspection Division, which is charged with maintaining quality and reporting on the quality of education. And as I await that information moving forward, I would like to reassure the general public that my goal remains steadfast in making sure that quality education is assured for the students at the NEPA, that the rights and the responsibilities of the management and staff are clearly defined, and that the institution lives up to its responsibilities as per the agreements made in providing, when government provided the subsidy for SBO education according to the subsidy regulations. So as soon as more information is available from those reports, and we have made a decision as a team moving forward, you will be updated. So that is just pertaining to, I know we've had several queries about that. We have been actively working diligently to come to solutions, and several meetings have been held. However, I am awaiting a final report which will give us a better view of especially the quality of education at NEPA at this time. As it pertains to several actions that have been taken that have not been totally clear to me, some of that information has not been clarified, and so I do not want to really go into things upon which I don't have all the information, or to bring personal issues to this floor. Moving on to the next topic, studying in the region. Several weeks before, in early December, as a matter of fact, after having made a decision as to which students qualified and would be granting study financing from the Studying in the Region budget, which is, to clarify for those who may be hearing this for the first time, a special fund that is funded by the Dutch government, OCW, Ministry of Education in the Netherlands. And previously, in years previous to this, we have done this with assistance from USONA. So this is the first year, and a ministerial decision, a Council of Ministers decision actually, was taken that a special account would be opened so that these funds would not go directly to the general budget of St. Martin, and that we had to set up specific protocols and procedures in order to disburse these funds in an open and transparent manner, and to be able to be accountable to the Dutch government as to how these funds have been spent. So as a result of this, even though I had taken the decision since early December and expected that this could have been done within a week or two, this did not prove to be the case, and especially seeing that it has to go through an internal process within the ministry as well as an external process within other departments, such as within the Ministry of Finance and division that disseminates information. So there was some unforeseen delays that several were unclear. I would expect that this is a new manner in which, even though we expend funds to students from our own budget, and the new protocol and procedure that was established for this was similar to what we do. I guess because of the new account, etc., several extra controls were exhibited on it, but in the end, we were able to get the advice finalized just yesterday, and I was able this morning, thankfully, to sign off on those ministerial decrees so that the students who have been granted this special funding via the Studying in the Region funds will be able to be paid out during the balance of this week. So if there are any problems, I would like to ask these students, first of all, I extend the apologies of the ministry and government in general in the delays that you have had to deal with, and we assure you that such would not be the case in the future, as we now, I believe, all of us within the system understands now how it will be done in future. So to reiterate, I have finalized those ministerial decrees, which would then facilitate the students being able to receive their payments within this week. As many of you may be aware, the marijuana issue remains a constant, and especially seeing our recent debates and discussions around the world, and also, I believe, here in St. Martin on whether it should be legalized or not. It remains still, though, an illegal drug on St. Martin, and it has been signaled by the ministry that there have been several schools reporting that there are some suspicions where they may have found bags, etc., but have not been able to, quote unquote, pin it on any particular child at this time. So therefore, the ministry, through the Division of Inspection and the truancy officers, are currently working on a meeting with all the schools who have actually signaled that they have an issue with this case, with these cases then. And we are working on actually the Department of Education based on priorities, but this is also a priority for this minister, that we set a uniform policy, a discipline policy, which includes how we deal with issues as related to drugs, violence, etc. But drugs would fall within that as well. I believe all schools, I know then that all schools have their individual policies on how they deal with these situations. There is a zero tolerance policy, but of course the ministry has to be consulted when it comes to suspensions as well as expulsions. So the ministry is working together with the schools so that we can come up with uniform preventative measures. I believe an awareness campaign needs to be kicked off, and I will go a little bit into the other drug that has recently popped up its head, but right now, the ministry is organizing meetings on two different levels, one to determine what exactly are the main cases and how best as schools we can go forward. Some schools have not even rung the bell, so therefore we would like to include them as well in the discussions as to what their best practices are that other schools can learn from and also utilize in order to minimize the effects of drugs in our schools. This does not take away, of course, from parental responsibilities. But before I go there, I would like to inform the general public, but specifically students, parents, teachers, and all those affiliated in the schools, that the recent attention given to the drug called Molly, which is actually also known as ecstasy. And the difference is that they are now just making them in even more attractive forms for children. So this is a concern. This is a very dangerous drug which can cause serious health issues. And I believe that all parents seeing the World Wide Web and information being available at your fingertips should get themselves informed about the different things that are out there, the things that their children are discussing. Young people are discussing this, but I'm also hoping they're looking at the negatives of it. So as Minister of Education, I advise you, I implore you, I beg you to get to know the facts about these drugs.
Also still on the topic of the meeting on the public health ordinance is, as you have realized, the fact that, again, members of the opposition came with a stunt, if you wish, the same one pulled in January of 2015 with respect to presenting a motion. Presenting a motion, again, the same motion, identical motion that was presented back in January 2015, with the exception of a short sentence in the considerations. For those of you who might have forgotten, in January 2015, the then coalition, they were then the coalition factions in Parliament, sought to present a motion instructing, mandating the former Minister of Health to execute a part of an ordinance. Now, there is so much regarding this ordinance that has not yet reached the Parliament of St. Martin. It still has not reached the Parliament. It wasn't here in January 2015, and it surely is not here in January 2016. However, that particular draft ordinance seeks to change 7 ordinances. And just as the position that we took back in January 2015, it is unthinkable that the Parliament of St. Martin would give an instruction, would give a mandate to the Minister of Health, whether it's the Minister of Health of the former coalition or of this coalition, but give the Minister of Health a mandate to implement a part of an ordinance that the Parliament has not seen the whole motion, has not seen the whole ordinance, has not discussed the ordinance. So again, that point was put forward, and I think it is regretful that in trying this stunt, the people of St. Martin were told, oh, but this ordinance will give extended coverage to other groups in our community. Yeah, that might be part of the ordinance, but this ordinance is not about extending health. Which the ordinance suggests that be cut in the area of public health. And that is the point. And I regret again that I call it, I can't think of another word for it, the stunt that was tried by the opposition parties, and in this case spearheaded by MP Cornelius de Weaver, who actually presented the motion. Again, given the benefit of the doubt, the deliberations and voting on the motions were put off as the rules of order allow us to do. And in the meantime, I have asked the Minister of VSA, Mr. Emil Lee, to put very clearly towards me and towards the Parliament a chronology on this draft ordinance wherever it might be at this time. A year ago in the motion, it was mentioned that the ordinance was in its final stage. A year later, it is still being mentioned to be in its final stage, but the Parliament has not yet received it.
I'm feeling funny, man. I feel like I'm getting a pain in my chest.
I got this.
You sure?
Yes. It's 30 breaths and 2 compression. Give her here.
Oh, Monique, look, she waking up.
No, Fernand. It is not 30 breaths and 2 compressions. It is 30 compressions and 2 breaths. CPR can be done in 3 simple steps. Step 1, check and call. Step 2, press down or pump. Step 3, blow.
I got it now. It's 30 compression and 2 breaths.
Yes.
Right. CAB.
Hey, Bob, you're on family vacation. Oh, but your daughter's got the measles. But don't worry about it. With your Be Sure travel insurance, children under 12 are covered for free.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah, for free. Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Here we go. This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so
So
good.
alive and I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good. Hey, I'm gonna live my life, feeling good, so good, real good, so
KFC, so good for everyone.
International standards require ships on international travels to have a ship sanitation control exemption certificate or a ship sanitation control certificate on board. These certificates show that a ship is free of contamination. In preparing for the responsibility to issue ship sanitation certificates, several inspection officers locally have successfully completed their trainings. The financial implications of this ordinance. The implementation of the public health ordinance goes hand in hand with financial responsibilities. The ordinance proposes for the country to bear the costs associated to the national vaccination program for children, as well as the neonatal screening. The country also bears the costs associated to infectious diseases and to control measures that may have to be taken, such as compensations that can be awarded to those who suffered a loss of income as a result of the measures taken. For instance, if someone was unable to work. These costs could rise to high numbers in the case of severe epidemic spreading on St. Martin. The costs are proposed to be allocated to the budget of disaster management and outbreak prevention. However, the operator of a port or airport and a transport operator bears the cost associated to the instructions given by the Minister of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor. Monitoring and enforcement. The Inspector of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor is responsible for the monitoring and enforcement of the ordinance. The Minister has a responsibility to administrate enforcement and to enforce that the ordinance also provides the possibility of imposing possibilities. Penalties can be given in the event of breaching confidentiality, for instance, healthcare providers leak information of their patients, breaching obligation to notify authorities as a healthcare provider, and also persons who enter quarantined or isolated areas without a permission to do so. In conclusion, the draft public health ordinance provides a strong and effective system of infectious disease control, which is in line with international standards and obligations. The ordinance is essential to protect the community against potential public health risks that do not stop at the borders. This ordinance further regulates that vital aspects of public health are secured through gaining insight in the health situation of the population and securing the development of prevention and special care programs for vulnerable groups, as well as people with non-communicable diseases. The ordinance does in such a way not only promote and safeguard the quality of the inhabitants of St. Martin, but also contributes to the social and economic development of the community.
On my question, what is the current status of the hospital care tripartite? Is this a committee or an official body? And the government, by letter of the 28th of October, responded as follows. The hospital care tripartite is a communication platform with the task of defining a hospital care business plan with the aim of securing accessibility to affordable hospital care
End of quote. My question, specific and direct via the Chair of Parliament. Hospital care business plan. Is there such a plan from the tripartite committee? Question 4, an answer to question 4 as provided by the government. My question was, is the hospital care tripartite also seeking financing possibilities for the St. Martin Medical Center? And the government responded, the hospital care tripartite is not aimed at seeking financing possibilities for the St. Martin Medical Center. Then, Mr. Chairman, through you, I asked the minister to take in front of him the tripartite protocol dated March the 26th, 2015. And I ask you specifically to look at the last page of that protocol, and it states the following: an agreement between government, SMMC, and the SZV of the 26th of March 2015, signed by Minister Mrs. Rita Born-Gomes, Prime Minister Marcel Gomes, Minister of Finance Minister Mr. Hussing, Director of the SMMC Mr. Clarenbeek, Mr. Glenn Carty as Interim Director of the SZV, and Mr. R. James, Chairman Supervisory Council of the St. Martin Medical Center. I want the minister, through you, Mr. Chairman, to look with me at the conclusions of that protocol of the 26th of March, and specifically where it is stated the following on the last page. The final delivery of the project organization will be the St. Martin Medical Center's business plan, including, and now I ask you with all of the points that are mentioned there to pay attention to the following: a proposal for the required funding consisting of a combination of third-party financing and SZV contributions. I asked through the chairman, the minister, how the government of St. Martin can respond to the question with the following: the hospital care tripartite is not aimed at seeking financing possibilities for the St. Martin Medical Center, yet the protocol concluded on the 26th of March 2015 states, and I repeat, a proposal for the required funding consisting of a combination, etc. If the minister could explain that. How could Parliament have been informed of such on the 28th of October when you had a protocol of the 26th of March, 28th of October, sorry, and you had a protocol of the 26th of March of 2015?
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Well, we're Western people, so we know agriculture really well. You know, you don't find that you see grafted mango on a tree that don't have roots, right? It don't make sense. So therefore, you have to go to the roots. And likewise, a house with a poor foundation will collapse over time, no matter how good the architects were. Even no matter how good the intentions were, it's going to collapse for sure over time. So it's imperative for us as African people to know the truth about who we are You got to know about Yemen. You got to know about Kush. You got to know about Sudan. This is important information for us. We can't say it doesn't matter. If we continue to walk when it doesn't matter, we don't have any backbone to stand on. But when we know we came from a heritage of poor people, we can stand boldly. We can face the challenges. Because these are challenges that are new to us, we as a people. Yeah, it's a different time, a different era. But a lot of the challenges will become collectively. We can solve them if we continue to build on the foundation that was there for us. One of the things that really disturbed me is today the Western media highlights everything negative about Africa, about blackness. You know, most of us, if we look at the television today, one of the things I often tell people is when you look at TV, whenever you see a person of color, I mean, you can see a black person, it could be a brown person, it could be a Mexican. Whenever you see them doing crime, the first thing you see at the news is a person's big face. I guarantee if you see them shoot up a school tomorrow and it's a white shooter, you never see that picture, you know. We have to speak to that. You don't see that picture at all. You never see the image of that person. They take that image for days and show you that picture. A black boy. It's going to be a little black dude. You do something, boom, it's right in your face. Because what we want to show you that blackness is dirty, is evil. That's all we can do. You see, and we need to speak to that and stop falling for that image. Stop falling into that trap. Okay? Because what happens when they do that? You know, they fail to tell us that our gold, the copper, the silver, the diamond, uranium in particular, plutonium. Because remember nuclear warheads. Remember nuclear warheads are big deal for us, you know. The uranium, the plutonium, where it come from? Come from Africa. They're going to tell you that. They're going to tell us that. They're going to tell us the cobalt, the oil, the natural resources that they continue to take from Africa when they develop their countries. You know, Brother Walter Rodney, the Guyanese brethren who I just really admire his work, you know, and we've lost him too soon, way too soon. He was assassinated. I don't know if you know his story, but he has a great book where he talks about the underdevelopment of Africa by Europe and how they underdevelop Africa. This is exactly what he's speaking to, you know, where they strengthen their economies by stifling their economy. And it's something that we see today too, in the whole colonialistic attitude. You know, we tend to come from a colonialistic system where we are being trained and our imperialistic masters continue to thrive. So that's something we need to speak constantly.